Hello, this is my chapter 3 reflection over information technology. So, I'm just going to touch on a few points that we talked about throughout the chapter and just kind of summarize what I learned. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is internet. The internet, I don't think people realize that DARPA created it, and I don't think people thought that it was going to be as big as it is today and used as much as it is. Um, it has grown exponentially since it was created. I mean, even growing up, the internet was around, and I mean, I remember just using Google, and you could find anything you wanted. And I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger today, each and every day. And then the next thing I want to talk about is virtual reality. Virtual reality has been around for, I guess, a couple of years. Not too terribly long, but it's kind of taken a boom here lately, especially with like Samsung and PlayStation using virtual reality. I know there's other technologies using it, but the ones that I'm most familiar with are PlayStation and Samsung using it. And in our book, it talked about like firefighters using it to potentially protect themselves from dangerous situations. And in my current issues assignment, I talked about how the police are using it to work through distressful situations, such as like a victim with or a fugitive with a gun, and they gotta react in a certain amount of time, or else they could potentially be dead or shot. And I think virtual reality is still on the climb, and it will become a part of our lives a lot more in the near future. Another thing I want to talk about is social media and the safeguards and the dangers that come with social media. So, social media, there's a lot of different social media sites such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and all that. And you can click and decide if you want to use your location, which I try not to use my location because, I mean, anyone can see it. And I don't like the fact that people are, I feel like, watching me. But, I mean, safeguards you can put into place are like turning your location off. I mean, only following people that you know and making sure it's actually them. Because, I mean, when children get on social media, they could potentially be talking to a stranger that they don't know and give them their location, and they could become abducted or something like that. And I think that's a big danger in today's world, especially with how big sex trafficking has become. And I just think children need to be aware of that before they get into the whole social media universe. Another one I want to talk about is e-commerce. E-commerce in the last like 2 or 3 years has actually gotten really big, and a lot of upstart businesses are doing it themselves. And a lot of them go through what is called Shopify. It's like basically you can create your own online store and sell a product without having any inventory. And that's called drop shipping, which makes running a business a lot easier because you don't have to deal with any inventory. And it basically, they send an order to you, and your computer sends the order to the company, and then they ship it for you. And that's really all you got to do. You just got to come up with products to sell. And I mean, if you were trying to sell t-shirts, you come up with the designs, and then another company will basically ship them out for you and design them. Another topic I want to talk about is online classes and like how the classroom is changing. Like, I mean, right now I'm in an online class and I don't have to be actually in the classroom, which is nice, especially with, I mean, other things I have to deal with, and I won't have time to make it to the university. So I think online classes are a benefit to people who are already working full-time jobs. And I think classrooms in the future, I mean, when I was in middle school, we never had laptops, or even in high school, and we had computers, but we didn't have like our own personal laptops. And now at my high school, everyone gets a Chromebook, and they get a take it around with them everywhere, which I think that's a benefit. And I think in the future, I mean, maybe even the desks, like the video talked about, will have iPads or some form of technology where they can search, play videos, go over PowerPoints just right on their desk. And I think that'll be a big benefit in education, especially allowing kids to have that at their fingertips will motivate them to learn a little bit more as well. And also, like video conferencing in the workplace, it really, I don't know, a quicker way of communication. If you have a meeting you need to have with like throughout your company and people can't make it, just shoot them onto a video board and have a meeting right then and there. That way they don't have to get on a plane and fly to where the meeting is being held. And I think that's a benefit for companies who can save money on that by just having a video conference call. And telecommuting as well. People who have to drive a long way can just work from home, which would be nice, especially if they have kids or something like that. And then that's just some forms of computer-mediated communication that I think there's still lots of technological advances that they're going to be making in the future. And heck, maybe even virtual reality will be kind of intertwined in the workplace as well of some form. Thank you.